Dear students, welcome to the knowledge series. Here we are going to discuss under the course EC407 Computer Communication in the area of networks. So what exactly the networks means? Networks is the interconnections of a set of devices that is capable of communications. So that is what we see in this slide. A network is a collection of computers, servers, mainframes, network devices, peripherals or other devices connected to one another to allow the sharing of data. An example of network is the internet, which connects millions of peoples all over the world. So this is what exactly we term in terms of a networks, where you can see a internet network is shown here and a router is being shown over here connecting to the various LAN networks. So these are nothing but the individual private terminals where the LAN networking is being shown, or and based on the IPv4, that is the internet routing address, it is being sharing the information to the various terminals. So as the network which is used for the communications, so there will be a node of a computer, printers and many other devices that becomes a part of the network. Or we say, like in a computer network, it is basically a system for communications between two or more computers and the associated devices. And these interconnections of computer is basically for the purpose of sharing the informations and resources. So that is what we term under the category of networks. Now we see some of the network criteria. A network must have certain network criteria so that an effective communications can take place. So these are nothing but certain attributes which every networks need to follow for the better outcomes. So the very first thing is that we are showing a performance. So when we talk about a performance of a network, whether it can be stating, or it determines the certain factors like number of users, type of a transmission medium, hardware, software. Apart from that particular terms, there are some of the terms like a transit time, response time, throughputs and delay. Now if the number of users is less, the performance of the network will be better in communicating the data. When the number of users increases, automatically the performance degrades. Type of a transmission media. If it is a wired media, then you have a better transmission. If it is a wireless media, you have several amount of noise factors. Hardware, the type of hardware you are using, the type of a software you are using, these resources plays definitely a big roles. Say for example, if you are taking computers with i3, i5, i7 and a computer with just ordinary computer like a simple processor 386, the olden days computers. So such type of computers hardware will definitely also results in the performance. So as I stated to you, in the performance, apart from these things, there are some other terms like a transit times. Transit times is nothing but the time it takes for a message to travel from one device to another. That is known as a transit time. There is a response times. Response times basically that when a user initiates from one systems or to starts and if the system is responding immediately, or if the system is getting delayed, that shows about the response times. So here the response time is the time elapsed between the user initiates a request and the system starts responding. Now other thing is throughput. Throughput is nothing but how much amount of work that particular computer systems can able to performs. Another area is a delay. That means a late response of the event. Say for example, if you increase the throughput by sending more amount of a data in a network, what will happen? There will be a traffic congestions in the network. Traffic means more amount of data if you are passing, then you will not able to get a appropriate response. So there will, because of the congestion in the network, there will be a delay. Say for example, if you have seen in like for example, you are using a mobile phone. In the evening, you will not able to get a number of connectivity at one instance, but in the late night or in the early morning period, you will be getting a connectivity. So all these things is a factor related to the networks. Now another area is we talk about a consistency. Consistency means it talks about whether your network is whether it is a morning time or evening time, network perform in the same order, and you will be getting the proper amount of network throughputs. So that is it talks about the consistency. Reliability. It talks with respect to the about the network. How frequently the network failure take place, and even if the network failure take place with respect to the link, and how fast it can able to recover from the failure. All these things talks about a network robustness and reliability. Here if you see the reliability, it talks about failure frequency, recovery after failure, catastrophes. That means if a failure frequency increases or decreases, and if failure is whether it can able to recover, or there is a catastrophe, big damage to the systems, whether it occurs or what. Or because of whether the network fails because of say for there is an earthquake is there and your whole network collapse, that type of situations, whether it is existing or not, that talks under the class of a reliability. Security is that you have to see that your network is more secure, and network must provide a security protections, because this is very important from the angle of damage as well as unauthorized access. And even that, when I say damage, means there should not be a virus attack. So there should be a proper policies how to handle that such type of theft, and how to recover that data and under the case of a theft. These are the things that we see under the class of a network security. So here when we talk about a security, even it talks about a security of a hardware, software, and as well as the informations. So these are nothing but the parameters with respect to the networks criteria. So that is what we try to see over here, is that when we talk about a performance, it defines as the rate of transferring the error-free data, and it is measured by the response time. So there is another way of a performance definition is being shown. Consistency is the predictability of the response time and the accuracy of the data. So consistency, if the response time, whether your network is able to respond even if there is a traffic is there, but it will try to maintain the same consistency, and also there will not be any information loss. So that is accuracy of a data. Reliability measure how often the network is usable. So that is known as the reliabilities of the particular type of a network. So as I have stated that if a failure is there, whether it can able to recover or not. Recovery is the network's ability to return to a prescribed level of operations after the network failure. That means if a network is having a failure, whether it can able to recover back. So that is known as a recovery. Security means it is the protection of a hardware, software and data from unauthorized access. So this is known as a security of a network based on the protection as from the unauthorized access also. Now we go to the next parameters with respect to the network physical structures. Now if you see here, when we talk about a network physical structure, basically it is a connections of a two or a more device through a link. That means in the medium how that particular two or more device gets connected. And a link is basically a communications pathway to transfer a data from source to destination or a one device to another. So these are the physical structures study under this particular class of discussions. Now if you see here, the line configurations of a network physical structure is shown in the form of a point-to-point, multi-point, and there is one more is there which we termed it as a broadcastings. So but basically point-to-point communications and the multi-point communications we try to see here. Now the point-to-point communications, when we try to see, here is a workstation and there is also a workstations, or you can say a terminal and a terminal. A point-to-point basic communications, it provides a dedicated link between the two devices. That means this entire capacity of this link is reserved. That means its bandwidth is reserved for transmissions between the two devices. And most point-to-point communications, that means this point-to-point communication, it use either a wired medium or a wireless medium. But since it is a link is there, so we use a wire or a cable under the contact link conditions. And if it is a wireless, then we use a microwave or a satellite link for a point-to-point communications by a infrared remote control. So these are nothing but point-to-point communications. Now there is another way of showing the point-to-point communication using a mainframe or a server to the terminal or a workstation, exactly in the same way using a entire capacity of that particular link. Another form of a point-to-point communication is shown with respect to a satellite. From the satellite ground station, it is uploading to the cloud, and from the cloud it is downloading it back to the end satellite receiver station and then back to the terminal. So these are nothing but a point-to-point communications. Now this is next is a multi-point line communications configurations. Multi-point or a multi-drop, we can say, when I say a multi-point line configuration, this is a line or a link and this is nothing but a drop. So a multi-drop connection consists of a two or more specific device share a common single link. That means it is a two or a more number of terminals can be connected to a common link. So in a multi-point environment, the capacity is shared by the different terminal either spatially or temporarily. That means this is a link where you are connecting several terminals, so they are in the shared mode. So not like in the previous mode, which is a dedicated one. So in the shared mode, they can be able to avail that particular resources. So in this one, a time shared connection is being used for a different user. Means when a data is passing, it can be taken in a time mode. This can also taken in a time mode, so that if several number of terminals will be there, then if the performance get degraded. So to have effective performance, what we do, we allow one channel to occupy. After that, after a certain time, it is being disconnected, then other channel to occupy, other terminal to occupy. Like that, we give a time shared connections. So these are nothing but a multi-point line configurations. So another form of a communication is a broadcasting configurations. Basically, it is a single communication channel which is shared by a large number of machines of the network, and in this one, a packet is transmitted or received by all the machines on that network. So here I have shown a broadcasting. So this can also transmit, this can also transmit, this can also receive, this can also receive. So several terminals will be, or several satellite points will be there, which can be broadcasting for the sending and receiving informations. So these are nothing but the broadcasting configurations. Interconnections of a network. Interconnection of a network, the topology is shown here. The topologies are mesh, star, tree, bus, and ring. These are the different network connectivities which are coming under the class of interconnections of a network. So basically, in the earlier days, in way back in 1950s, when the telephone industries started booming up to reduce the time for creating a number of calls, because at that time manual form of a connectivity was there, and also the line networks, it was more complicated network with that made the infrastructure cost to increase, as well as delay in the communications between one end to the other terminals. So that's why it leads the study of the various form of a network topology. So here the link is essential for making a physical channel or physical wired connections, and a switch box is also used at this particular juncture, because in this case, if the a physical connection is needed, because the switch box will try to make a setup, and thereby the input link from that particular terminal point, it can be routed to the different points, so that it can reach to the output point. So the topology, when we try to consider, there are two types of a topology comes under that particular groupings. One is a static topology, another is a dynamic topology. So when we talk about a static topology, means there will be a static network with a fixed connections. So you try to create that connection as a permanent connections. And a dynamic topology, when we talk about dynamic topology, is that one where you can keep on changing the setting, and thereby you try to create interconnections using switch boxes. So that type of dynamic interconnections is a 2D form of a network's connectivity. So you can see this one, there are 5 form of a topology being shown here. The bus, let us take the different topology one by one. So we start with the bus topology. So this is how the different topology is shown. One is fully connected topology, you can see here. Another is a bus topology. On a one common link, there are number of node point is there, which is nothing but a number of drop terminals. So that is a bus topology. Star topology is that there is a central point is there. So it acts like a central point, central node, and from there all the nodes are connected. So this is a centralized form of a distributions under the star topology. Then there is a ring topology is there, you can see in a circular mode. Then there is a tree type of branch topology is being shown over here. There is a mesh topology is being shown where all the nodes are connected together. So and further you can see there is a hybrid topology is there, in which you have a bus topology here and you have a star topologies here. Then there is a dual ring is this ring over which there is a one more ring, that is a dual ring topology is there. Then there is a linear topology is there. Instead of drop on that same terminal you have a number of nodes, so that is a linear topology. So these nodes are shown here in the form of a red colors, and the branches are being shown in the form of a blue lines. So this is how the topology is there. So we are going to focus basically on the bus topology. Then we will be talking about other mesh, star, tree and ring topologies. So this is been shown for your understanding purpose, this particular topology. Now we go to the first topology, is a bus topology. Now a bus topology is basically a linear or a common bus or a backbone oriented topology, where the number of terminals that is connected through a single cables, and this is a trap point from where you are taking the terminals to for the terminal connectivity with the common lines. And the backbone act as a shared communications medium with the each nodes. That is this is a backbone form of a shared communications, and each nodes will be able to communicate with respect to a main server. Suppose if a server is a server, or this can communicate with the other terminals, so that is also possible with respect to the case of a bus topologies. And here the transmission is taking place either backward or a forward form under this particular cable connections or the terminal connections. So in this address, the message whichever we are transmitting, based on the address of which terminal it has to access, the message along with the address will pass through the common terminal, and then it will reach to the destination accordingly. And there is a two end will be a cable end point or a terminator point. If this is a terminator, then this is termed as a backbone, because from where it is transmitting. So this is how the backbone act as a shared communications. This type of a bus topology, it has an advantage, because if you see from here, it is easy to create such type of connections. You have one cable, you have to lay one cable, and from here you can take a pair of wires or a number of wires, and from here based on the routing, it can route the terminal point to the computers. So that's why it is easy to connect such type of a computers or a peripheral on a linear bus. And it requires less cables, because directly you can transmit and you have to drop from here. So it need a less cable as compared to the star topologies. So that is what we see in this case. But it has a certain disadvantage also, because if you see here, the entire network will shut down if there is a break in the back end, or in the backbone. If the cable breaks, the whole terminal get stopped. So that is the one of the biggest drawback. And the terminators, if this is a terminator are required at the both ends. So if this is also, we say, or a cable end we can say also. So the both end we need a cable end that act as a backbone for the bus topology. And the next is that it is basically difficult to identify the problem if there is a breakdown in a network, because it is very difficult to know which system is has got a breakdown. If the service engineer is there, the service engineers needs to look at the each tap point. So if there are 100 terminals, so it is difficult to identify the faults in a small time. And Another further the drawback in this is that this is for a bigger network, like in the factories or institutions or large building. Such type of a topology is not actually a standalone solutions. So that is the drawback of the bus topologies. And we go to the next topology, is a ring topology. Now this type of a topology is the simplest way of connecting the nodes, and in this topology, if you see, like it look like a line topology, but it is not a line topology. Here in this topology, computers are placed on a circle. You can see the these computers are placed in a circular forms, and these circular forms, and it is being connected by the common cables. So that is what we see, and there, from this cable a token is being passed, so that it will be able to identify the computers where it has to drop the information or where it has to retrieve the informations. The nodes that forms a ring, it acts like a point-to-point connection. That means from here to here it is a point-to-point connection. From here to here it is a point-to-point connection. So just like that one, a point-to-point connections is being set for a one terminal on the either side. So this one will be having a point-to-point connections with this and this, but this will not have a point-to-point connection with these two computers. And all this message, it travels in the ring in a same direction. If it is rotating in a clockwise, so it will be going in a clockwise, and if it is an anti-clockwise, it will go in anti-clockwise directions. And if you try to see when a node device receives, or a terminal device, when it receives a signal intended for the other device, then what it will do, it will not take, rather it will pass on that one to the next nodes or the next terminal to verify whether it is intended for it or not. The advantage is that it is easy to install, that is one, and another thing is that every terminal can access to others nodes in the network, because even if it is not there, you can able to see that the information is coming, but you cannot see the information because it is only the header file which is having a address. And the addition of a new node, if you can incorporate in this ring topology, it will not degrade the performance of the network. But if you look across the disadvantage factors, this type of topology is expensive for the initial installations, and a failure of one nodes in the ring topology, it will affects the whole rings, just like we have seen in the case of a bus. And a maximum number of a ring in this topology, that is restricted. You cannot keep on increasing or expanding the ring topologies. The next is a star topology. Star topology is basically designed with every nodes, such as your server will be there, your terminal will be there, workstations will be there, or a peripheral printer, everything. It is connected to the central hub, so just like a centralized station. And this hub acts as a central controller, and these nodes are connected with the help of using a different type of coaxial cable or a twisted cable or a optical fiber to the hub. So this is a star topology. And if you try to see the advantage, it is easy to install, and the wiring is also done in a simple way. If there is a failure in one computer, it will not affect the whole systems, because it is that particular terminal branch only it will be affecting. Otherwise, the other terminals branches it is not going to affect. And these topologies allow for a easy error detections and also corrections. If this is having a failure, so this can be corrected easily. The disadvantage is that if by any means if the hub gets failed, so it will lead to the crash of entire networks. So that is what we see. And here we need a longer length of a cables for connections with respect to hub, and it is also expensive with respect to the cost of the hub. So this is what we see with respect to the star topologies. Now we go to the next is nothing but a tree topologies. So we try to see the tree topology and the speciality. The tree topology speciality is that it combines the characteristic of a linear bus and the star topology. So here if you try to see, it is just like from here, assume that this is a star, this is star, this is star. So this is point to point, this is point to point, or everything is in the star. Now assume that from here again one more star is created, then it is act like a linear bus and plus a star. So that's why the tree topology always goes with the hybrid of a linear bus as well as the star topology. And this tree topology allows for expansions of the existing network. So you can increase the network size after the installations by keeping the expansions programs. The majority of the nodes connected to the secondary hub, that in turn connected to the control hub, are the combinations of the linear and the bus configuration. That is what I mean to say. And basically this tree topology it is used for the wide networks. That is the what we see in the case of a tree topology. Now advantage is that you can expand the node network and the expansion of the node network is easy, and moreover it can easily manage and maintained. Error detections in this case, if it is existing in a one particular terminal, that can be easily identified, because only at one terminal you have to see. And for a long distance the signal can be travel through the hub. So you will be having a several hub point through which a chain of hub you can allow the network to expand. The disadvantage part is that if there is by means of which the central hub or the backbone line breaks, the entire network will go down. So that is what we see. Another point is that it is basically very difficult to configure, because when the large number of topology increases, to create its address, to maintain that particular network, it's become very difficult. And moreover it is a wired connections or a wireless connections. Particularly if it is a wired connections, then you have to do extra job activities. If more nodes are connected, then maintenance will also be difficult. And here also you need a large huge cables, and thereby the implementation cost also it increases. Now next is a mesh topology. When we see the mesh topology, you try to see that every node is connected here. If you see the nodes connectivity, there is a link is there, this to this, this to this, this to this, this to that. Means each terminal is connected to all the remaining terminal. So in a mesh net topology, every computer or a terminal is connected via a dedicated channel, that is a point-to-point link. And a message sent on a mesh network can take several possible link, and if you see this, it is a fully connected link. So in the fully connected link, you will see that this network can be represented as if I am saying every link or a terminal as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like this one. If I am counting, if I say this link is n, this for the mesh topology, the number of links is defined as n into n minus 1 divided by 2. So that is how we say. So since this is a 5 terminal, so we say 5 into 5 minus 1 divided by 2. So 5 minus 1 is 4, divided by 2 is 2. So 5 into 2 is 10. So if you count this one, there is a 10 links. So that is what we see. And another is a port. The port is nothing but n minus 1. So since there is a 5 terminal, so 5 minus 1, 4 port. That means every terminal will be having 1, 2, 3, 4 points. 1, 2, 3 points. So there are 4 ports will be there for the every terminal. So that is what we see here. The advantage is that it is a robust, and the mesh topology are installed where a fault tolerance is important and high. So because it can tolerate, even if one network terminal get damaged, it will not affect. So that's why it is very robust, and it can able to tolerate, and it provides a security and privacy also. The disadvantage is that the cost of implementations of and maintenance of such network is higher. Configuration and installation is also difficult, and basically it is suitable for a less number of devices because of the cost of the cable. Because if the cost increases, this particular network will also becomes costly. Now we go to the next discussions under this particular class of discussion is hybrid topology. When you talk about a hybrid topology, you try to see that in the case of a hybrid topology, you have a star topology, you have a ring topology, bus topology. So that is what we see here, again a star topology. So this is a hybrid topology. A hybrid topology is a combination of all these combinations which we have discussed earlier. So when we look for an institution or for a bigger factory, so we have to go for a hybrid form of a topology. So this completes the discussion under the topologies point of our discussions. Now we go to the next area, that is the categories of a network. In the case of a categories of a network, what exactly it means? Because to classify a computer network, we normally classify in terms of how we classify in terms of a number of terminals and how the transmission is taking place. So that is how we classify the computer network. And based on the number of terminals, we put these classifications of the computer network under these categories. So if you try to see the computer network, this can be classified under PAN, that is a personal area network, local area network, a metropolitan area network, wide area network, and then additional is the campus area network and storage area network. So we basically focused on the first 4 because other 2 is extensions with respect to these 4 networks. The first area we talk about a PAN network. So as the name indicates, the PAN is a computer network, and it is organized around individual persons. So here it is used for communicating among the computers and the computer devices, including telephones. in a close proximity. This is very important, in a close proximity of around a few meters within a rooms. So PAN is basically a wired network or a wireless network. So if it is a wired network, we will be using a USB connectivity. If it is a wireless network, we can use a Bluetooth or a infrared association technologies. So that is what we use in the case of a PAN network. When we basically a PAN is used for the personal entertainment activities. So some of the characteristics of of the PAN, if you try to look across, you will find that most of the personal devices here, you can see the mobile, headphone, then your smartphone, printer, mouse, laptop. So all this thing is a personal device equipped within a limited range, and PAN devices are basically a personal devices which are regularly used by the person, and it can be a wired connection, connectivity, have wired connections or a wireless form of a connectivities. And these devices, when we consider, this comes under the class of a personal area network. So that is what we talk in under the class of PAN. Now let us see the next area is a LAN. When we talk about okay, one more point we want to see about the advantages of the PAN. PAN advantage is that it is relatively secure because it is not outside the network. So within the same area, if it is having a connectivity, particularly in the wide form, so it is more secure, and it allows a short range of solutions up to 10 meters. Disadvantage is that because it does not need a very high-end signal booster or another form of control mechanisms. That's why the bad connections it may establish, particularly in the radio link or radio band, and it basically it cannot use for a long distance communications. That is what we see in the PAN. Now coming to the LAN, LAN is basically a computer network that covers a small geographical areas within a square miles or even it is less. Like for example, if you see in our colleges, we are using a LAN networking. So LAN networking is basically used for the schools, laboratory, office buildings. Those are the areas where we are using a LAN networking. And this type of LAN networking basically have workstations that can be lesser powerful, because you need one big server, and thereby you can connect several terminals, so that from the server the data can be passed to the terminals end. So terminal no need to be a very high-end system. Simple terminals can be used only for computational purpose, but every storage, everything can be taken place at the server end. So that is what we see here, network of a connected computer and the resource together in a building of a close proximity. Not like a PAN, but more than PAN, but you should not increase beyond a particular set of miles. The component of a LAN is divided into cabling, standard hardware, and protocols. You have to follow this one in the case of a LAN. Protocol means rules. So we use a Cat3, Cat4, Cat5 cables, Ethernet cabling standard it has to follow. Unshielded twisted pair of a cable is being used for this LAN wiring, and even a shielded twisted pair cable is also used. Then there is a connection, connectors are there at that each node point, that is RJ45, RJ11. These are nothing but specifications of the cabling standard used for the LANs. So you can see a set of LAN connections, and then there is a set of LAN connection. There is a bridge is there for making further expansion of the LAN network within the building. So based on this, we'll go to the next is a MAN. Okay, we'll see the advantage part of this particular LAN. What are the advantage part we try to see? When we see the advantage part is that basically it is easy to transfer the data and message over the network. So that is the one of the convenient way of handling in this case also. And LAN facility is basically to share even the internet connections among the whole LAN users. You will see that in the college we have a internet server is there in our IT department. From that IT cell, that internet server is distributing the LAN connection to the several terminals. So that's how the LAN supports the connections. We don't need a internet connection to every terminals directly. Rather, it can be taken to the server, and from where it can be distributed. LAN actually, even from the LAN, we can share the storage of the data. Even we can share the hard drives. We can share the printers like that. Thereby, it reduces the cost of the hardware purchase. That is the specialty of the LAN. The disadvantage part, if you try to see that, the initial cost for installation of the LAN is quite high, because it needs several form of privacy, and thereby you need the cost of the infrastructures also, and the infrastructure cost is also high in this case of LAN, and that is the initial cost. And moreover, the unauthorized users need to be protected, so you have to configure at every point, and that maintenance also increases. And you need a well-trained LAN administrator for setting up the software as well as the hardware failure if it occurs, to handle it, so that the systems can work appropriately. So these are the certain disadvantages under the LAN. However, you can see most of the institutions, most of the place, the LAN networking is being followed in the close where the close proximity is not much wide. Next, we go to the metropolitan area network, which is nothing but MAN. Now we see the MAN here, Metropolitan Area Network. MAN is basically a network of a computer where it is spread across the, not in the up to the level of institution, even beyond the institutions, like in the entire city, or in the campus, or in the small regions where the network size is larger than the LAN. And it goes from several miles to tens of miles. That distance you use this particular MAN. And MAN is basically a single network, and it connects several number of LANs. So that you can see here. This is a MAN network where you are having a factory LANs, college LAN, hospital LAN, school LANs. Like that you connect the MAN network. Even there is a one, suppose this is an office LAN, there will be a router will be there, because MAN will be working under the internet protocol, so that's why a router is coming. Otherwise, if it is a small network, you can use a switch or a bridge. So since here is a router is there, it is going to the local exchange carrier, and further router back to the another network of another location. So it is a location to locations communications. That is what a network is connected in the that connects LAN network together within a city. So it also has the similar for protocols like RS-32. RS-32 is used for the connectivities, and it is using a pad asynchronous form of a transfer. We have studied earlier asynchronous transfer mode. ISDN integrated service digital network, it is being used. Then it has a dedicated T1 lines with the certain Mbps speed, and also it goes with the ADSL and another form of a digital subscribe lines. So these are nothing but the configurations of the MAN protocols. However, for the understanding is the MAN basically used for the area where you can able to support a core network, wireless LAN, ISDN, even ADSL, XDSL, even a CAT, CATV, and even you can support the different 4G, 3G, 4G networks connectivity. Now the characteristic is that it is basically it covers the town and city, and mostly it uses the fiber optics cables for communicating media or transmission media, and data rate is sufficiently adequate for a distributed computing, because it does not go for a centralized computing, rather it go for a distributed computing. The advantage is that in this one is that it has a faster communication and high speed is there, because you are going with the high-end systems, and you can extensively use for the large size of a network. So that is what we see in the WAN. And the dual bus in the MAN network, basically it used to supports and transmit the data in either direction. So that's why the dual bus is used in the MAN. The disadvantage is what you know, the MAN connections, it needs a more cable, because if you are using for a dual connections or a dual bus, then in that case your cable size will increase. And even if it is not a dual bus also, you will be having a large number of a network will be there. So on that, thereby under the class of MAN, and the cable size will also increase. And the MAN network is from the security point of view, it is difficult to maintain, because there are chances of hacking the MAN network, because it has several terminal points where it is not being protected. So these are the one of the shortfalls in the case of a MAN network. However, there are several security policies is being adopted for the protection of the MAN network from external hackers and security aspects. Now we go to the next area, is the WAN network. WAN network is basically a system of interconnecting several computers in a large geographical area. So that is very important to understand, that it is going for a geographical area, that is a global area. Just like when you talk about the internet, it is a collections of several networks. So that is a wide area networks. So like a city, states, countries, or even the whole world. So WAN network is a collection of LANs, you can see, or a MANs. LANs is also there, MANs is that is known as a WAN network. And WAN network systems could be a collections of a LAN which connects the LANs only, and telephone lines, satellite lines, radio lines, all this thing is coming under the case of LAN networks, WAN networks. And if you look across the characteristic, any organizations can form a global integrated network that comes under the class of a WAN. And a software is commonly shared in the case of a WAN network for downloading, uploading, for the smooth functioning. The advantage part is that it helps to cover a large geographical area, particularly for the business official purpose. This WAN is suitable. Nowadays, even because of the COVID-19, we are having a large number of online classes, and all these things is coming under the class of the wide area networks. In the case of WAN network, the mobile phone, laptop, tablets, computer, gaming consoles, everything is intact to this one. So that's why it is having a flexibility to use that systems in a convenient way for meeting the needs. And WAN networks is basically using a transmitter and a receiver within the same device. The disadvantage part is that among all the network, in this network setup cost is very high and the initial cost of investment is very large, and it is difficult to maintain a WAN network, and you need a skilled technicians or a network administrators, and there are more errors and issues it can erupt in the case of this network, and it need more time to identify the faults and to resolve it, and it requires a multiple wired and wireless technologies in this particular case, and moreover the security aspects as compared to the other network is also exist, but it is being handled in and tried to maintain in such a way that it has it can able to solve the security aspect. However, it has a lower securities when compared to the MAN or a LAN or a PAN. So that is how our distribution of the networking is being shown. Now when you talk about a heterogeneous network is you can see that a president want to communicate with the LAN network, so the president will be communicating through his terminal, and that terminal will be passing through a modem to convert that signal into a suitable format, thereby it can communicate over a medium, that is a point-to-point communication from one modem to another modem, and it comes to a switching network, and from switching network it is passing through a internet router, and from router from one end it is going to the other network through a point-to-point communication using a wired or a wireless media, here also wired or a wireless media, and finally it comes to the end terminal of a end terminal, which is a LAN networking, and after coming to the LAN networking based on the internet protocol, it will go and access that particular terminal, and thereby it will communicate with the end users. So that is how the next network connectivity is maintained in the case of a heterogeneous network, which is nothing but a different form of a network, where you will be having a star network, a bus network, or a mesh network like that. Hierarchical organizations of an internet. When we talk about the word internet, so we all as the name of the internet, as everyone know that it is having two words, interconnections plus network, that is known as internet. So this is a interconnection, and there is a inter is a interconnections, and network is a network. So internet is basically a worldwide systems of a computer network for connecting various networks. So hierarchical form of internet as a network is nothing but you have a national internet service provider. It will be connected to the regional internet service provider, and thereby it is given to the user, the internet service provider. So that's how the internet service provider is being shown across here with respect to the distributions, with respect to the ISP. Now we see some basic points under the class of this internet. Before we go to the internet, intranet, and extranet, let's see the word internet work. What exactly that? So internet work is basically the initial terms that is defines the connection of two or more computers, and which are connected using a network, a router. You have to understand, whenever router is there, you should take into consideration that it talks about the internet world. And here this is the network configuration, and internet is a private network operated by a large company or other organizations which use the internet technology, but is insulated from a global internet. Sorry, this intranet is a private network which is organized by the company and other, but it is insulated from the global internet. So and extranet is an internet that is accessible to some people from outside the company, or possibly shared by more than one organization. So here you can see a computer network, This is the internet, and the internet server is there, and a firewall is nothing but for filtering which what are the internet sites that is to be accessible to the end users. That is through the firewall it is being provided, and from here extranet is also shown. There is a intranet server is also shown. This is the intranet is also shown. Through this intranet server it has coming to intranet here, and the application server is shown. So these are nothing but your extranet. So this if this customer want to interact with this one, so this extranet through the internet it will come, and thereby it will pass to the network cable, and thereby it will reach to the intranet, and thereby intranet is within, and internet is external, extranet is global, and extranet is a external network. That is how we can take into consideration for understanding. Now let us see further. When we talk about internet work, as I was stating earlier, so internet work, when we say that it is nothing but a network address to identify the network inside the internet work. That means in the internet work, actually it allows the different users to access the different geographical locations of the organizations. And why it is basically used for the different geographical locations? Because it has to share data, resources, and communications, and communicate with the various. So basically, as the internet work is nothing but we use the internet, and we used to work with the within the organizations, and outside the organizations, and outside the organization even globally. So that's how the internet work is coming as a terms. So we go with the one by one. Excited. When we talk about the internet, it is a global communication, and this is access through the web. And when we talk about extranet, extranet is basically a outside communications, but it is used for sharing the information to the outside group based on the common understanding. Common understanding means, suppose let us take our institutions want to communicate with our institution want to communicate with another sister concern institution which is in a different state. Then in that case, what we will do, either we will go with the internet, but if it is in a close proximity, we will be using an extranet also to use that particular conditions, because it is a private network. So extranet will be only used coming into picture when that extranet is having a common understanding with the internet group, thereby it can able to access the certain informations. Intranet is basically a shared content to access by the members within the same organization, within the single organizations. So that is known as a intranet. So that is coming under the class of a internet. So internet, extranet, and intranet are rely on the basically a TCP/IP technologies. TCP/IP I will be I have be sharing in the next point of our discussions. So that is what we follow. And basically this intranet, it is restricted only for the members, but extranet is limited to it is a non-member, but certain members like suppliers, customers, which is a part of an organization, then we are allowing the certain functions to use by the extranet person from the intranet. Whereas internet is basically generally allows everyone to access the external world. That means even the members and outside member will access the internet resources. So these are nothing how we class the internet, intranet, and extranet. Now, if you see this in the similar forms about the internet, this is shown: internet external, internet outside group, internet within the group. So it is IT department is there shown here as a internet. This is our institutions. Marketing and purchasing department, which is outside, but it will take the help of the college. Say our let us take we want to purchase something from the external party, and that purchasing party is regularly supplying to our institution some product. So our internet is can able to access with the party regularly. So that is coming under the class of extranet. Internet is something which is a global, and that can be accessed by everybody. So that's how it can be accessed by IT department. It can be accessed by the extranet also. So that is what we have shown over here is the internet, intranet within the company only, extranet supplier, customer, and collaborator. So that is also coming under the class of a that is also having a flavor of intranet. And when we talk about internet, it is the outside world. It is having a flavor for the extranet also, and for the intranet also. So finally, coming to the concluding part of networks is that applications. Networks are basically is one of the important factors and important components which is used for all applications. Some of the applications has been highlighted here is marketings, sales, financial services, stock exchanges, manufacturing companies, all the industries doing electronic communications, email, messaging, WhatsApp, and all social services that we use it in the social platforms, social networkings, directory services, information service, large number of database exchanges. We are using a teleconference or online classes, all these form of services, mobile communications for we are using for a cable TV for exchange of the transmissions of the televisions informations, as well as using that cable for the internet services also. So these are the some of the components that gives to the discussions related to the network. I believe that you have understood about the network in detail with respect to the discussion that we had over here today. Thank you.